This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Dutchman Aspin Trail. And the model number is 2550 BHS. Okay? So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work now. This is just a how-to video. So, first of all, you have power stabilizer jacks. You just extend and retract here. The one switch controls both rear jacks. The switch up front controls both front. So you never lift the trailer with the powered stabilizers. You're just going to take the movement out of the trailer. You're just going to stabilize it. So never try and lift it. This cooktop plugs in. There's a quick connect hose that plugs into this quick connect fitting right here. You can see it there. It's brass. And that's how you get gas to the cooktop. Also, you have a refrigerator here. Power awning, outside speakers. This is a vent for the range hood. Okay, so when you run the fan in the range hood when you're cooking, it vents out right there. This is the vent for the furnace, and this is your fresh water tank fill. This is the second most common way to get water to the trailer. Of course, the first most common way is the city water hookup. You're just going to hook it up to city water, turn it on, and you're all set. If you're camping someplace without city water, you can pre-fill your tank right here and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. I'll show you where the switch for the pump is when we get inside. Okay, this is your water heater. You can see this is the drain right here, right there. There's a switch inside to turn on the gas burner. I'll show you that when we get inside. Never run the water heater without water in the system, in the water heater tank. You don't want to damage it by running it dry, okay? This is just regular 120 AC receptacles. There's your front stabilizer switch. You have your dump hose kit there, and there's a reducer to reduce you from your 30 amp cord down to a 20. This little crank here is for your power tongue jack. So your power tongue jack, obviously up and down. You have a light here. Now, if for any reason this fails, you can always pull this plug off the top here, and you can use that little crank and put it on there, and you can actually crank it up and down manually. So you can always get hitched and unhitched no matter what. So that's a good feature to have. You have your LP tanks, deep cycle marine battery right there. Okay. And of course, this is the other end of your pass-through storage. Okay. Galley tank dump here. That's for your kitchen sink. Okay. If you come down back here, you have two more valves. You have another gray tank valve, which is for your bathroom sink and shower, and then you have your black tank valve right there, which is for toilet water and waste, of course. So just remember, you do have two gray tanks. One is considered a galley tank, but it's still a gray tank. Okay. Now this is your power cord. It just pulls right out. It's 25 or 30 feet long, and we do give you that reducer that I showed you. Okay. This is just a campground cable through right there. This housing tells us you're pre-wired for a backup camera. If you're interested, that takes a Furion backup camera kit, so that's always an option if you're interested. This is your city water hookup here. This is the most common way to get water to the trailer. 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to use. Now, this is your black tank flush. So like it says on this sticker here, you always got to make sure your black tank valve is open before you turn on the water to this flush. So when you get to the dump station, you're going to hook the hose up at the dump station, the fresh water hose right to there. Then you'll come over here and you'll dump your black tank here, of course, and then you're going to leave the valve open. And then you turn on the water to this flush and you just let it spray the inside of the tank out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. But like I said, never run it with the black tank valve in the closed position. Okay? And this is your outside shower slash sprayer. You got hot and cold water here. Okay? The manufacturer says inspect your roof every 90 days, so keep in mind you got to look at your roof to make sure everything is in good shape. There's no damage caused by, you know, low branches or anything like that. Just take a look at it occasionally. Okay, so let's go inside. First thing we see when we come in the door here is your power converter. So this converts AC to DC power. Okay, so you see you have regular 120 AC circuit breakers here, and then they're labeled right there. Then the power is converted from 120 AC to 12 volt DC over here. So these are regular 12 volt DC fuses here, and then those are all labeled. So that's where the 12 volts come from, that in the battery. So this is also a battery tender. So when you're plugged into shore power, this will sense how much energy your battery on the tongue has and needs, and it'll keep it charged, so it charges it. So basically it's called a power converter, and it's your distribution panel for AC power, 120 AC, your distribution panel for 12 volt DC. It converts AC to DC power and charges your battery, all of those things. So, okay? Everything that can run on 12 volt DC in a trailer does. The only things that are AC power are things that have to be, like the microwave or the air conditioner, things like that have to be AC power. So everything else is DC. Now your tow vehicle has a charge line, and so when you're pulling it down the road, that charge line will charge your battery also. Okay, so this is for your slide room right here. This is your power awning here. Power awning should never be left out. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. As you can see, looks like so. Never leave it out unattended, because it will get damaged by the wind. Your water pump, we talked about the water pump. So normally you're going to be using city water, but if you're going to pump water out of the fresh water tank, you turn on your water pump. Okay. This is also used to winterize the trailer. To light your gas burner on your water heater is right here. And then of course all your levels are checked here. Your battery's charged. Fresh water has got water in the tank because we're testing it for you. Black is empty, gray 1 and gray 2 are both empty. Okay, they graduate up in 1/3 increments, so you can, once you get up 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping. So obviously these are your bunks. As we come around here, you've got your sound here. This is AM/FM radio. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream with it. You got a USB drive, so you can take your MP3s with you and play them. You got an HDMI in, so you go into the system there, and you can put obviously a TV right there. You can see that while we're talking about the TV, these green lights here tell you that the digital antenna is on. So you always want those on when you're using the antenna. Otherwise it won't work very well. You won't get good reception. Your fireplace, I mentioned AC and DC power. That's another thing that runs on AC power. Your fireplace, and it's a space heater basically. Oh, it's down here. Sorry. So it works like that, and then you got. You can change the pictures of the flame. It's got a fan in it, so it kicks the heat out. Okay, it's a very good heater. This pulls open, You gotta give it a good yank, and you got your top secret storage back here. The air conditioner is working good too. It's a hot day, and it's nice and cool in here. Microwave works like any other microwave. This is your range hood. You got the fan. Remember I told you about the vent on the outside, and then you have a light, of course. There's no gas on this turned on, so I'll just talk you through this. This is the sparker. We turn this clockwise to light it. Okay. You have 3 burners here, or 3 knobs here for the 3 burners. The 4th one is for the oven. The oven has a pilot light all the way at the back down there. So basically, you're gonna go to this knob, and you're gonna see the pilot light. Then you depress it. The key is keeping it depressed all the time while you're lighting it. Then you're gonna light it. Once you see the flame light down here, you still hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature. When you're done, you shut it off. Obviously the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Of course, you got light here. And always travel with your 5-fold glass cooktop down. Now, you don't want to travel it with it in the up position because it can break, but don't close it till the burners cool down. Okay? Your keys right here. I'm sorry. Under here, this panel just see here, so you can see back here. This is where your water heater is, and the valves for your water heater. Right now it's in camping mode, so everything's set. But this is where you'll change the bypass valves. This is the water pump and the intake hose for the antifreeze, where you'll winterize it. So that all happens right there. Very well kept trailer. It's nice, and I'm even seeing the protective plastic still on the radio face. So, okay, let's see what else we have. So your refrigerator runs on 12-volt DC, on and off here, up and down, temperature-wise, and then you have different modes. Like that's night mode, so it saves energy if you hit the night mode, or energy-saving mode. So it's all 12-volt DC. It's perfect inside. Looks like new. Okay. The table is why they have it configured this way. I don't know, but that's their decision, obviously. Well, I guess you can turn it the other way. I'm thinking you can, but I didn't. That's how the other customers set it up, the original owners, I mean. And you have another piece here, which spans across it, so you can turn it into a bed. So basically, you'd lay the tabletop across on these cleats along with that other piece, and then fold the cushions down, and you got another place to sleep. Okay. This is a carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is right now. If it's not green, get it serviced. It's too important to ignore. It also has buttons on it, so you can test it that way. The bottom line is, if it's not working, take care of it immediately. They're not expensive, but it's very important, okay? That detects carbon monoxide and LP gas leak, okay? And of course, the thermostat is self-explanatory. You just hit the mode button until you get to the mode you want. Very simple. The bathroom, the thing to remember, this is a GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired to that GFCI. So if you have a plug that's just a regular duplex plug, it's still wired through the GFCI, so they're all protected by it. So if you lose power outside, let's say, first thing you're going to think, if you lose power in any of them, the first thing you're going to think is GFCI, so you come in here and see if you need to reset it. Okay? The toilet works like all RV toilets, and since it sits over a black tank, it's got a flush pedal. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, of course. Then you'll come in here and you'll put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. Now your black tank is empty because you flushed it when you left the last campground, right? So it's empty. So you come in here and you put a dose of chemical in the bowl. You stand on the pedal and hold it down to put at least a gallon of water into the tank along with the chemical. You can use more than a gallon of water. Don't use less. More is better in this case, so keep that in mind. but you never run it dry. You never use it without using chemical and water first, because if you do that, it'll be a real mess, and cleaning it out with it clogged up, it'll just be a mess. So anytime you're starting to use this after you flush the tank, or dump the tank I should say, you have to reintroduce chemical and water, okay? So therefore, if you're, let's say you're staying at a campground for 2 weeks, and after a week you have to dump your black tank, right? You're still going to be using it for another week, so after the dump, after it's dumped, you'll come in here, put a dose of chemical and at least a gallon of water in there, so you're set till you dump it again, okay? Shower is self-explanatory, of course. You got a fan, all right, a skylight. Your AC is ducted through the ceiling. The furnace is ducted through the lower black ports down there. Okay, so you have in your bedroom, obviously you have some storage under here. As you can see, you got some stuff down here. There's the bedspread and some other stuff. We have TV hookups here, and they had a bracket up here. You have to get your own bracket. If you're going to, it's best to get a bracket that's made for an RV. They're a little bit more money. It's up to you. But like if you go to Amazon, for example, and you put in RV or travel trailer TV brackets, you'll find that they're heavier duty. They got a wider base plate to mount, so they stay on the wall better. And they generally will have a lock, so they can't, it won't flail around while you're going down the road. If you don't have a locking bracket, you pretty much have to put a strap on it to keep it, because you don't want it just flinging around, okay? So if you get one that's made for an RV, it generally has a lock on it, I guess is what I'm saying. But you can put a cheap one on, it's up to you. There's the escape window works like they all do. You push it all the way through, you grab a hold of the tab, pull the screen out, and you can escape in an emergency. Tell any kids or grandkids that need to know that, tell them about it, please. Sliding door, it should always be a latch, so that anything that slides should be latched so it doesn't fling around again. You want everything stowed properly and tied down properly, okay? Alrighty, that's your smoke detector, of course. So I think that about covers it. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember to inspect your roof every 90 days. And we'll see you when you come to pick it up, and we'll answer any questions you have, okay? Thank you.